Dele and Kunle had been best friends since they were children. They grew up together, played together, and even went to the same school. Everyone knew them as brothers, even though they were not related. They did everything together and had big dreams for the future. But one night, when they were in the university, something terrible happened. They were coming back from a party when they had a bad accident. They were in a car with a careless driver, and although both of them survived, it was a night that could change their life forever. Kunle's spine was affected, but after a while, he recovered and life moved on. Years later, they both went to make a business proposal to a rich village chief, and that was when Dele met a beautiful lady, Sholake. She was the chief's eldest daughter. She smiled warmly to him, and they became friends and later fell in love. They got married. Dele became rich because of the Sholake's family, and in a few months she was pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Kunle also fell in love sooner with Kemi, an Ankara seller in the market. They sooner got married, but in 3 years, no child yet. Meanwhile, his friend Dele's wife Sholake had given birth again, this time to a set of twin boys in their marriage second year. Kunle and Kemi kept praying about their situation. It was now 8 years and Kunle began complaining. Dele, I need help. I don't have money, but we need to go to that high-end fertility clinic so we can know exactly what is wrong. Sure. And then Dele followed Kunle and his wife. It was expensive, but Dele made the expenses. After a series of tests, the results came out, and it was discovered that the problem was from Kunle and he was impotent. The doctor said the accident which affected his spine many years ago had contributed to this issue. Kunle cried, "Oh my God, how could this happen to me?" It meant he couldn't pregnant his wife. They went home and felt shattered, but Kemi reassured him that they would have a child in God's time. But the rumors and insults were becoming too much. One day, Kemi was coming back from the market and her bag was so heavy. "Auntie, let me help you," a little child from the neighborhood said, while trying to help her carry one of the bags. And then his mother shouted from across, "Will you leave that woman's bag alone? See, Kemi, if you need a child to assist you, why don't you give birth to one?" And she laughed. Kemi felt so embarrassed, but the insults were becoming a norm. As if it wasn't enough, when she got home and began cooking, she heard a knock on the door. She was so excited to hear her mother-in-law's voice. She opened the door and was greeted with a hot slap. "You barren witch! Since you can't bear children, leave my son alone so another woman can bear kids for him. A woman who has children in her womb, not a woman like you with stones in her womb," her mother-in-law insulted. Kemi cried, "Mama, don't say that. Mama, don't say that to me." Kunle came out. "Mama, don't speak to my wife like that. I won't take it. And please, by morning, go back to your husband's house." So now, she has even bewitched you in a way that you can speak back to your mother. "I am only trying to save you from whatever spell this witch you call a wife has casted on you." It was just another tough evening. Kunle couldn't sleep that night. He was lost in deep thoughts. He woke Kemi up in the middle of the night. "My wife, I found a solution to our problem." "Ah, really? What is it?" Kemi replied. "I want you to sleep with another man to get us a child. It will be our secret. No one will know," Kunle said. "What? How can you even think of something like that, Kunle?" Kemi exclaimed. "What do you want me to do? People might soon know that I'm impotent and I'm not worthy to be called a man. I can't bear such shame, Kemi," Kunle responded. "What do you mean you can't bear such shame? It's not anybody's life, Kunle. It's our life. It's up to us, and God would give us a child in His time. Please, no, I can't." She walked out of the room angrily. He stopped talking to her for 2 weeks. The silent treatment was just unbearable. Kemi just couldn't bear everything anymore, and alas, she agreed. "My husband, I would do it," she told Kunle one afternoon. He was so excited. He hugged her tightly. "Thank you, my wife. You don't know what you have done for me. But now, who will do it for us?" was the next question. They stayed all night and no one came to thought. In the morning, Kunle said, "We need someone we can trust. Someone who would not reveal this to anyone." So do I have to go to a motel? Or, I don't know, go to a nearby village? No, we don't have to do that. "I think my friend Dele will be perfect for it," he said. "Jesus!" she exclaimed, disgusted by the thoughts of it. "How could you even think of such? I'm ashamed, please," Kemi fired back. "Dele is like a brother, and he has had twins twice. The chances are higher." "My husband, how could you say this?" "I don't know, I can't say." After much argument, she agreed. Later that evening, he went to see his friend Dele. Making sure his wife Sholake wasn't around. Said, "Dele, I need your help." "What is it? You know I will do anything to help you." "Dele, please sleep with my wife." "What? How can you say such?" "Please, it is only you I trust. Sleep with my wife." Dele was shocked and disgusted. "Where is this coming from, Kunle? You know I can't father a child," Kunle replied. "The mockery is becoming too much and no one knows it's from me. I need your help. It will be our secret and no one will ever know. Please don't ask me to do such. It's so disgusting. I can't imagine it. Please, Dele." It was Dele's toughest decision. Dele refused at first. How could he sleep with his best friend's wife? It felt wrong to him. But Kunle kept begging him every day. Dele didn't want to hurt his friend, so he finally agreed to help them and came to meet Kemi, and they did what had to be done. Soon after, Kemi got pregnant. When the baby was born, it was a boy, and Kunle and Kemi were so happy. They named the boy Ayomide, which means "my joy has arrived." For a while, everything seemed perfect. They had the child they always wanted, and the insults and gossips from the villagers stopped. Everyone was surprised and rejoiced with them. At the age of 2, Kunle began beating his son unnecessarily for the slightest mistakes. He would beat him for not finishing his food. He would beat him for being awake till late. It was just too much and unnecessary. Kemi begged that he was too young to be treated that way. "Are you trying to say he's not my son, or I don't know what to do for my son? This woman." "That's not what I mean," she would insist. But as the boy grew, her husband's hatred for the boy also grew. At the age of 7, he beat him with a heavy rod for going outside to play without his slippers. He even put pepper in his nostrils one time. Kemi didn't understand why Kunle was acting that way. She tried to protect her son, but Kunle's anger kept getting worse. Kunle could not forget that Ayomide was not his biological son, and it made him resent the boy even more. Their son Ayomide's body was filled with wounds. One day, when his mom was applying ointments to his body, he used the opportunity to ask her if Kunle was truly his father. She rebuked him. "Don't you ever say that. Your father is only putting you through discipline. He loves you." She tried to counter his thoughts. But of course, a lot was going on in his mind already. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Ayomide, now 20, wanted to start electronic business. He begged his father for some money, and he refused to give him. His mother promised to give him. One day, his best friend Dele visited with his wife Sholake. Kemi made them dinner. Kunle asked his son to get cups, and while he was bringing them, a glass fell and broke. Kunle gave him a dirty slap. "You imbecile child," and began calling him names. "Useless boy," screamed. Sholake began begging, "Please stop." Kunle didn't stop. He continued beating Ayomide. Dele froze. He didn't know how to interfere. His wife Sholake begged him to stop his friend. When Dele tried to stop him, he shouted, "He's my son, isn't he? Don't tell me how to train my son." Sholake and Dele left angrily, and when they got home, Sholake asked her husband why he couldn't talk some sense into his friend's head and tell him to stop abusing his son every time. He told his wife that they should not interfere with Kunle's family. "It is not our business, Sholake. Allow them." The next day, when Sholake knew that Kunle would not be around, she went to see Ayomide and Kemi. Send Ayomide to any of your relatives. The abuse from his father is becoming too much." she said. Kemi refused. You don't understand. Kunle will kill me. Oh. I can't. Ayomide also wanted to leave. Later on, Ayomide used the opportunity to tell Sholake about how his father refused to give him money to start the electronics business, and she immediately gave him the money with plenty change on it. That evening, when Kunle was returning, he saw Ayomide speaking to an electronics trader. He immediately suspected that for him to be speaking to him, maybe he has gotten the money. He ran home and searched Ayomide's room thoroughly. 5 minutes into the search, he saw some money and immediately took it and bought expensive cartons of wine and started drinking and wasting it. When Ayomide came back that evening and saw cartons of expensive wine stacked outside, he knew something wasn't right. He quickly ran and checked under his bed, and his money was gone. "Papa, why?" he cried. Father drank and laughed mockingly. When his mom came back, he cried and narrated everything to her, telling her that he would be going away. She begged, but to no avail. He told her he was done and tired of his father. Late that night, he packed his bags and left before dawn to Dele and Sholake's house. Kunle woke up early in the morning and went to Ayomide's room to ask him to go outside and cut the grass. He searched everywhere and didn't see him. He went to meet his wife and asked her, "Kemi, where is that your stupid son?" She was shocked, and before she could say anything, he started beating her, insisting that she knew where Ayomide was. Meanwhile, she didn't know because Ayomide told her nothing about where he was going to. Ayomide arrived safely to Sholake and Dele's place, but only Sholake was around at that time. She welcomed him warmly. He narrated everything that happened to him. She quickly told him to leave the village. "You need to eat first, and tomorrow early morning, because it's already late, before you would arrive, you would have to go and live with one of my brother in the neighboring villages." "Thank you so much, ma." She gave him plenty food to eat. On the other hand, Kunle kept beating his wife. "Tell me, where is that stupid boy? And besides, where did Ayomide even get money from?" She tried to lie at first that she was the one who gave him the money, but he didn't believe her. She finally told him that Sholake helped. He immediately suspected that Ayomide would be at Sholake's place. He picked up a cutlass and headed towards his friend Dele's house. Dele came back home and was surprised to see Ayomide. He welcomed him and went in and asked his wife Sholake what was happening. She narrated everything. "I told you to stay out of Kunle's family's matter. I told you not to get involved. Can't you see how your friend keeps abusing that boy? Everyone has been watching and no one is saying anything. I can't keep watching." Just as they were still discussing, Ayomide was still eating in the living room and they heard a loud bang on their door. "Open this door!" It was Kunle. He was shouting at the top of his voice, "Bring out that bastard! Bring out that bastard of a son!" Sholake opened the door and shouted back, "Ayomide is not here. I know you are hiding that stupid boy somewhere in this house. Bring him out now." Dele came out and shouted back to his friend. Kunle said, "Bring out that idiot boy before I expose you." "Expose what?" Sholake shouted back. Dele begged his friend not to say anything. He laughed wickedly. And Dele immediately got scared and wanted to go in and bring out Ayomide. Sholake blocked the entrance. "I said his son isn't here. Let him do his worst." "I will expose your secrets," Kunle said. "I will tell your wife everything." "What do you mean tell my wife everything?" Dele said. "I did it for you. You begged me to do this for you as a favor," Dele replied. At this point, Sholake was completely lost in the conversation. She asked her husband, "What is happening?" Kunle laughed. "You mean you help your friend by sleeping with his wife?" Kunle fired back. Sholake looked at her husband, searching for answers. He didn't say anything. Kunle continued, "Let me even tell you everything. Your husband here slept with my wife, got her pregnant, resulting to that bastard called Ayomide." Sholake almost fainted. Dele knelt down and begged his wife, "I didn't do it." Just like that, he begged me to help him. He begged me to help him that he was impotent. Please believe me, Sholake. Kunle begged me to help him impregnate his wife. I don't understand what you're saying, and you couldn't tell me anything about it." Kunle shouted. and you couldn't refuse? I begged you to help me sleep with my own wife, my own wife, and you couldn't refuse. You sound like an idiot in case you don't know. Kunle mockingly fired back. Ayomude, who heard everything, came out of hiding and turned to Dele. So you're my father, and you watched this man beat me like an animal, he cried. It was a day of revelation. At the end of the revelation, everything got exposed. Neighbors gathered. Everyone knew what happened. Kunle said drinking turned to a drunk, and the gist of him not being able to impregnate a woman spread across the whole village. Kemi left him, and he was all alone all the days of his life. What do you think later happened? Did Sholake forgive her husband Dele, or would you advise her to forgive her husband Dele? As for the moral lessons of this story, I would like to know what lesson you have learned from this tale. Don't forget to share this video, like and subscribe. I'll see you at the top. Love you.